Hello students, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to read a poem. But before that, let's have a look at this picture. Do you know which animal it is that you see in this picture? And what is it trying to eat? Of course, you can see a tree and its branch and the leaves on it. And you can see the shape of the tail. It looks like a question mark. Let's see which poem it is. This is a poem from your textbook, Honeycomb, and the title of the poem is The Squirrel. You may have seen a squirrel sitting on the ground, eating a nut. What did it look like? Here is a poet's description of just such a squirrel. Of course, many of you might have seen squirrels in a zoo, in the movies, or in some other TV channels. Of course, the picture here is the picture of a squirrel. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. The poem is written by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. Let's read the poem again. It's very short. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. Here in this poem, the animal, the squirrel, has been referred as he. The squirrel has been personified. The animal is referred as he. He wore a question mark for tail. Who wears a question mark for tail? The squirrel. It is because the poet is saying that the squirrel wears a question mark for tail because the shape, the appearance of the tail looks like a question mark. An overcoat of grey. The fur of the animal, the fur of the squirrel is an overcoat to the animal. Okay. Just like we have overcoats, they have their fur. So the overcoat is the fur of grey colors. He sat up straight to eat a nut. So while trying to eat, the animal, the squirrel, will sit up straight and they will eat the nut. They loved eating nuts. Okay, they like nuts very much. As we can see in the picture, the squirrel was trying to eat some nuts. It was actually eating a nut. He liked to tease and play. The animal, the squirrel, is playful in nature. They like to tease and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. But if we try to go near them, or if we run around his tree where he lives, he will go away the other way. So that is the poem. Let's see some exercises to understand the poem better. Working with the poem. Why does the poet say the squirrel wore a question mark for tail? Of course, the tail of the squirrel looks like a question mark. So, to his eyes, to the poet's eyes, the squirrel seems to wear a question mark for tail. Now you have to draw a squirrel or find a picture of a squirrel sitting on the ground. How would you describe its tail? Question number 2. Do we usually say that an animal wears a tail? What do we say? Think. Does an animal wear a coat? Consult a dictionary if you like and find out how wears is used in different ways. Question number 3. He liked to tease and play. Who is teasing whom? How? So that is the exercise. You have to try this first. Let's check it again, working with the poem. Why does the poet say the squirrel wore a question mark for tail? The poet says so because the tail of the squirrel looked like a question mark. A squirrel's tail is long and hairy and is curved at the end. So probably the appearance of the tail is similar to that of a question mark. You have to find a picture of a squirrel sitting on the ground, or you can draw a squirrel. How would you describe its tail? You have to try it. Do we usually say that an animal wears a tail? What do we say? Think, does an animal wear a coat? Consult a dictionary if you like and find out how wear is used in different ways. Actually, the answer is no. We usually don't say this. We say that an animal has a tail. Yes, an animal wears a coat. That is its hairy skin. You can check a dictionary and the word wear it has different meanings according to its use in the sentence. The first, wear means has or have. Second, wear means to put on. Wearing means to put on some clothes on our body. Wearing a shirt, wearing a pant, like that. Sometimes it means has or hath. Number 3, he liked to tease and play. Who is teasing whom? How? The squirrel is teasing the poet here in this poem. He is teasing him by playing hide and seek. The squirrel loves to tease and play. Let me further explain the poem. The Squirrel is a poem written by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. This poem, The Squirrel, describes a squirrel that the poet once saw, probably in his childhood days. This small creature had a tail in the shape of a question mark, and the color of his furry skin was gray. He sat attentively to eat a nut. In fact, the squirrel will sit straight up while eating a nut. This little creature was very playful in his own way. It loved to tease. Here, the animal, the squirrel, has been referred as he. The animal has been personified. However, if the poet or any other human tried to go near the tree where the squirrel sat eating a nut, he ran in the opposite directions. Though the squirrel wants to tease and play, but the animal will always avoid human contacts.